Ben Bateman, Black Hollywood Live, talking right now about why comedy lends itself so well to monster and horror. Like, what's the marriage there? Why do you think that is?
Well, I know for me, and I think this is true for most people, first of all, I need the comic relief because I don't like getting so scared that it's just unending. So my favorite movies, even if they're not intentionally comedies like something like Shaun of the Dead, but even something like, Jaws or Poltergeist, these are early movies for me that I saw when I was little. They have these comic breaks in them that give you that breath. But I also feel like, laughing and screaming are just very connected, and they're both a release. And so there's something about like the heightened sense of both of those things that I think work really well together. And sometimes I don't know, for me, for example, I used to have a tattoo, and when I was getting it removed, the pain was so bad that it made me laugh. So they just thought I was crazy because it's terribly painful, but I was like, oh my God, this hurts so much. And so for me, maybe those things are even more closely married, is like the sort of pain and horror going hand in hand with like, gotta laugh it off.
What was your tattoo of?
It was just a double band. You can see the scar a little bit. It was like a dark, it was a black, really, really dark black band, and I am like chicken white. So it was very hard to remove.
I'm also white. I've never gotten a tattoo. Maybe for that exact reason.
Yeah, well, if you decide you don't want it, eventually you can make it go away. But I only got rid of it because of work. I would still have it if people weren't like, wait, you have blonde hair and blue eyes and a tattoo? Are you the devil? Like, no one knew what to do with that. So
talking about heightening, you were mentioning just like sort of playing the scenes in this show. Do you guys play them straight to the hilt? Do you play it like super, super grounded and serious? Because like in comedy, that tends to work the best.
I think so. I mean, my character is very, very grounded. I think that her responses are comedic, but she doesn't know that they are necessarily. Sure. Whereas I think, I've played a lot of self-aware, funny characters. She's just trying to get through the day. And I think that really helps. And Johnny's so amazing about that too, is he doesn't want to, I think he would say it was like kind of a waste of time to play a character that doesn't have a soul. And so he keeps things so grounded, and his character is more ludicrous even than mine. So he just makes it so easy to live in that serious world, even as the most absurd things are happening.
Do you think that like the juxtaposition of like the capable female character constantly getting herself in trouble is like a step forward or a step backwards for strong female characters in television?
Oh, that's really funny. I think it's going to happen to men and women alike always in entertainment, because that's where you get that conflict and you get those stakes. Yeah. So, I think she's tremendous. I think she's a tough cookie, and I think it's never a bad thing to have a strong woman, getting people out of a scrape or two.
Talk to me a little bit about like the goo and the blood. I've heard from a bunch of people that have worked on, like my friend Christina works on Blood Drive, and she's like, there's 3 different kinds of fake blood. Like, just talk about how gross it is to just have to get in your mouth. Like, what do you have to deal with?
Yeah, for sure. Dana likes to tell this story, but there's our special effects guru, Bob Shelley, who's just been around forever. He worked on Ghostbusters and tells a story about Ghostbuster goo and Bill Murray not liking it very much. But the main thing that he would ask in season 1 of Dana would be like, what color goo do you want? Apparently he had several different colors to choose from, but I get thrown up on. I get a lot of demon vomit, one of the first episodes of the show.
Not real throw up. Yeah,
not real throw up so far. And so that was a situation where, like, there's a hose, Mick Ignis, who's a great creature actor, great actor in his own right, but he was all, witched up, and he's, they sort of has the hose, and the special effects guys were like, so it's just going to be like a couple of seconds of like all this purpley chunky goo, but it's fine, nothing bad's going to happen. And then when they triggered it, it was like 30, it was an absurdly long amount of time. And if you just sit and look at your watch for 20 seconds or whatever it was and just count down and imagine that it's like being waterboarded, like your nose and mouth are being filled up with projectile goo. It was one of the hardest things I've had to do. I was like, this is really awful.
It sounds like a tough thing to have to deal with as an actor. So last question, I would say you're probably best known for an animated character you've played, and getting into acting in the beginning, would you ever have imagined that that's what so far in your career the defining moment would have really been, is like this role? There's so much love for that character.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just so honored to have been able to play her, and I never had a game plan for my career. I didn't even think that I would end up being an actor, so I've never had that like 5-year plan. So I'm so shocked that I even got that part, and I will be grateful for it forever because it is so iconic. And Mike and Brian just wrote such a brilliant stories, and I just feel so lucky, and I love meeting the fans because it is one of those shows that impacted a lot of people on an emotional level. So it's just a gift. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Congratulations.
Have a great rest of your con.
You too.